you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. Dating apps are supposed to be convenient. A few swipes, some casual conversation, maybe a drink at a busy bar, then move on. No strings, no dangers. At least, that's what I thought. But the thing no one tells you is, once you invite someone into your life digitally, you don't always know what you really invited, or how hard it will be to make them leave. It started like any other match. His name was Evan, tall, brown hair, clean cut, but not fake looking. The kind of face you'd see on an ad for bank loans. Trustworthy, a little boring. His bio was simple. Just looking for someone real. It didn't feel like a red flag. Well, not yet. He messaged first, polite, funny even. We joked about terrible Tinder pickup lines. He said he liked my smile. I said I liked his sarcasm. It felt normal, natural, safe. The first weird moment came about 2 days in. We were chatting late at night and I mentioned I was craving pizza. He replied immediately, "There's a great little pizza place 2 streets over from you. You should go there. They stay open late." I paused. I hadn't told him where I lived, not even a general area, and there was no way he could have guessed from the exact little side street I lived on, a dead end off a forgotten part of the city. I asked him, how did he know? He replied with a laughing emoji and said, "Lucky guess." I should have unmatched him, blocked him, deleted the app, but loneliness is stupid, a heavy thing, and some part of me, the reckless, the desperate part, wanted to believe it was just a coincidence. The next night, he messaged me again, said he was bored, asked if I wanted to hang out. I made an excuse. Long day at work, too tired. He replied, "That's okay, I can see you're busy anyway." Another joke, I thought, until he sent a photo, a grainy, badly lit image of my building, my window, lights on, curtains half drawn. I dropped my phone. I ran to the window. I looked out into the night. Nothing. Just empty street. Soft glow of a broken street light. A flicker of movement in the shadows. But it could have been anything. A cat, the wind, my imagination. I blocked him. I deleted the app. I threw my phone across the room and sat there in the dark, heart hammering against my ribs, telling myself it was over. It wasn't. 3 nights later, I found it. I was cleaning, shaking out the sheets, fluffing the pillows, trying to drown my nerves in busy work. And that's when I spotted it. A tiny black object tucked between my mattress and the wall. At first, I thought it was a button or a coin, but when I pulled it free, it was a phone. Not mine, cheap, no brand, no case, and the screen was on. It was live streaming my bedroom from just inches away. I smashed it. I shattered it into 1,000 pieces, shaking so hard I could barely hold the hammer. I called the police. They came, listened, took photos, filed a report. They didn't find anything. No fingerprints, no DNA, no sign of forced entry. They told me it was probably a prank, probably a roommate, probably nothing. They left and I was alone again. I brought new locks, a new phone, a new number. I swore off dating apps forever, but it didn't matter, because 2 weeks later, on a grey, rainy afternoon, I got a package. No return address, and inside was a Polaroid photo of me, sleeping, taken from inches away, and scrawled across the bottom in shaky, childlike handwriting, "Still looking for someone real." I moved, I changed cities, I changed names, I did everything right. But sometimes, when I'm lying awake at night, staring into the dark, I still feel it, the weight of someone watching, the scrape of a camera lens adjusting, the soft hum of a device recording my life inch by inch. If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. But somewhere out there, he's still watching, and maybe next time, you won't need an app to find me. If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. Dating apps are strange if you really think about it. Thousands of people floating around you like ghosts you can't see, all within a few miles, all looking for something. Sometimes companionship, sometimes attention, and sometimes something else. Her name was Alina. Simple profile, one photo, black and white. Her sitting on the edge of a fountain, head tilted slightly, long hair spilling across one shoulder. There was something off about the photo. Not the kind of off you notice straight away, more the kind that prickles the back of your neck when you're alone. Like her smile was frozen a second too long, like her eyes didn't match the rest of her face. There was no bio, no interest listed, just one line under her name. I found you. I wasn't looking for anything serious, mostly just scrolling out of boredom, waiting for my takeaway to arrive. But when I swiped right, the screen flashed. It's a match. The second it happened, she messaged. No greeting, no emoji, just, "You're closer than you think." I laughed it off, typed something back about living alone, being a night owl. She replied instantly, "I know." She never asked normal questions, never, "What do you do?" or "What are your hobbies?" Instead, "When did you first feel truly alone? If you disappeared tonight, who would notice? What would you leave behind?" Each time, her words slid under my skin, soft, invasive, like hands pushing gently against the inside of my skull. And the weirdest thing, every time I texted her, the lights in my flat would flicker, just once, a little dimming, like the building sighed. I told myself it was just old wiring, just the late hour, but then I started noticing things. One night, scrolling through our chat history, I tapped her photo, just curious, and I zoomed in, and the background, the blurry, indistinct buildings behind her in the fountain picture, they were my buildings. The ones across from my flat, the cracked brick, the graffiti, the crooked lamppost, exactly. I dropped my phone. I backed away from the screen. I hadn't posted any pictures of where I lived, not online, not anywhere. She sent a message, no text, just a photo of my front door, taken from just a few feet away, taken tonight. You see, I should have called someone, I should have ran, but there's something about curiosity, a slow, desperate need to understand, that keeps you standing when you should be running. She sent an address, a pin on the map, a place less than a mile away. Come find me. I grabbed my jacket, I left the flat, I walked out into the fog-drenched streets, heart pounding so loud it drowned out the night. The address led me to an abandoned playground, rusted swings, a broken seesaw, dead leaves choking the roundabout. In the centre of it stood a girl, long hair, head tilted, wearing the same clothes as the photo. I stepped closer. The air around her shimmered like heat off asphalt. I called her, "Alina?" No answer. Her head twitched slightly, like a puppet, a wrong, jerky movement. And then she looked up. She had no eyes, just hollow sockets filled with shafting static, tiny flickers of broken images, like 100 different faces trying to surface all at once. Mouth opening slowly, impossibly wide, stretching until the skin tore at the corners. She whispered, "You found me, now let me in." Something cold touched my arm and I ran. I didn't look back. I didn't stop until I was locked inside my flat, every window latched, every light on. I deleted the app, I smashed the phone, I changed my number, and I moved across the city. But the night after I moved in, there was a knock at the door, and when I checked the peephole, there was no one there. Just a Polaroid taped to the glass, a photo of me, sleeping, and scrawled across the bottom, in handwriting that wasn't mine, "You're already with me." If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. But sometimes, when I catch my reflection in a dark screen, my eyes don't match anymore, and in the reflection, she's standing just behind me, waiting. If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. I used to think the scariest part of dating apps was just getting ghosted, someone disappearing mid-conversation, a few awkward texts, then silence. But real fear, real horror, comes when someone doesn't disappear, when they fixate on you, when they pull you somewhere no one else can see you, and you realise too late that they never intended to let you leave. It started with a girl named Maya, short brown hair, wide smile, an artist, she said, loved abandoned places, loved urban exploring, loved danger. It should have been a red flag, but she was funny, charming, she said all the right things, and at that point in my life, I was so lonely that even her strange intensity felt like a gift. We chatted for about a week before she suggested meeting. Not a cafe, not a bar, at an abandoned house just outside the city. "It's beautiful," she said. "You'll love it. It's private." I hesitated, suggested somewhere else. She insisted, said if I wasn't up for it, maybe I wasn't ready for someone like her. And somehow that worked. I agreed. Like an idiot, I agreed. It was about 20-minute drive out of town, past the suburbs, past the streetlights, into the bones of old farmland, cracked fields and rotting fences. The house stood alone, half collapsed, 2 stories of broken windows and peeling grey paint. The front door hung open like a yawning mouth. No lights, no sound but the wind scraping dead branches against the walls. I parked nearby. I waited, texted her. No reply. I should have left. Every instinct screamed to get back into the car, just drive away, forget any of this ever happened. But curiosity is a slow poison, and it was already in my blood. I stepped inside. Inside the house, the air smelled of mould, damp wood, and something else. Something coppery, thick and metallic. The floorboards groaned under my weight, and dust floated in the beam on my phone's flashlight, thick enough to feel on my skin. "Maya!" I called out. No answer, just the echo of my own voice bouncing back, warped by the hollow spaces. I moved deeper, up a narrow staircase, past graffiti-scrawled walls and doorways that led nowhere. At the end of the hall was a room with a door half closed. Something about it felt wrong. Too quiet, too still. I pushed it open. The room was empty, except for a chair placed dead center, facing a cracked, dust-smeared mirror, and sitting on the chair was a phone, lit up, recording. On the mirror, written in something dark and sticky, were the words, "Sit down." I didn't. I turned to leave. That's when I heard it. Footsteps. Behind me, above me, below me, all around me. Dozens of them. The floor vibrated, the walls groaned, and a voice whispered from everywhere at once. "You said you were ready for someone like me." I ran. I don't remember how I got downstairs or how I made it back into the yard. All I remember is the cold breath of the night against my face and the sound of footsteps thundering after me. Not one set, not two, dozens. Fast, relentless, laughing. I didn't look back. I didn't want to see what was chasing me. I just sprinted for my car. I slammed the door and locked it. I fumbled for the keys. The headlights swung across the front of the house, and that's when I saw them. Dozens of figures, standing in broken windows, on the porch, in the collapsing second floor, all wearing the same face. Maya's face. Smiling, waiting. I left that night and I never went back. I changed my number, I deleted the apps, I blocked every unknown number that called. But sometimes I still get texts from numbers I don't recognize. Sometimes they just say, sit down. Sometimes they send me photos, grainy black and white shots of my own house, of me sitting in my living room, unaware. And once, only once, they sent me a short video of a dusty, abandoned room and just an empty chair, waiting. If you're hearing this, it means I survived long enough to tell it. But if Maya ever calls again, I don't think I'll have the strength to say no.